What is up, guys? It's Profit Day Trader here, and today I'm starting a new series. This is going to be a beginners class. It's going to be all stock terminology. It's going to be specifically meant for day trading, but these are just general terms in the stock market world and to begin with. So it's going to be you have to learn this stuff anyway, no matter what stock trading you're going to learn. But this is going to be all important to learning how to start day trading. So what I do, I'm specifically a day trader. I do not do options. I don't do cryptocurrencies. I don't do Forex, futures, stuff like that. But this stuff can be used throughout that. So you can get some, if you're looking for something else, if you're doing options, futures, you can still learn some of the stuff that'll help you out in those areas. But overall, this whole series is going to be geared towards learning how to day trade. So in today's class, we're going to go over the different chart types. Now, there's one that's most dominant. It's going to be the candlestick chart. So I'm going to go over this one the most. I'm going to go over the other two a little more briefly. The line chart I'm going to go over very briefly. And the bar chart, I'm going to go over. The bar chart is a very good chart, but it's not really used that much anymore. But I'm going to go over it just for the sake of understanding that it's there. It gives you an option, and there might be some people that might be interested in this. So yeah, so again, stick around. I'm going to go over all three, and this is just going to be start of a new class. So if you're interested in something like this, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be posting videos every single week, a few times a week. So if you're really interested in becoming a day trader or just learning how to trade stocks part-time, full-time, again, consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to build this community, and it really means a lot to me. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, number one, the first one we're going to be going over is the line chart. Now, I'm going to go over this pretty briefly. This is going to be the one that most beginners are going to be familiar with. Before I got into the stock market, this is the one that I used to look at. If I was on my phone, I'm not sure about Robinhood. I'm sure Robinhood maybe does some candlestick stuff. I'm not too familiar. But it was on Yahoo Finance. If I just went on Google search, these are the charts that you usually see. Now, these charts are fine for reference, but to actually start trading, these are probably the worst charts you can have. Now, the reason being is, with day trading, so many decisions are made so quickly. So you need to, within seconds, sometimes even milliseconds. That's how fast you make the decisions. Now, because of that, we need as much information as possible. Now, with a line chart, it doesn't really show you much information other than the ending closing price of that minute or whatever you set the chart settings at. So again, if you're not familiar with this, don't worry. This is going to take a little bit to learn, but just to go over line chart very quickly. Now, I have a graph here. This is something similar you would see if you're looking at a chart, whichever stock you're looking at. Just they all look the same. Now, I have this set at a 1 minute chart. So what that means is every single one of these points here represents a minute in the stock market. So if you look at this, every single peak and valley represents 1 minute in the stock market. So the only information that they show you in the line chart is the ending price in that minute. So it doesn't show you anything else. It doesn't show you anything else that happened with that minute. It only shows you the closing price at the end when the minute hits 00. This is the price. When the next minute hits 00, that's the price. So this is good for reference. It's good to kind of follow. It's easy to follow. It's very aesthetically pleasing. But as far as day trading, I trade so quickly within that minute that you don't have a chance. This isn't good enough to tell you. I don't know what's happening in between this. So I want to know everything between this. So the problem with the line chart is, again, it's just a lack of information. It's not. It looks good. It looks nice. It's very easy to follow, but there's not enough information in it. So again, just to go real quickly, that's all it shows you is the points represents 1 minute. Now, if you change to 5 minutes, we'll say you set it to a 5 minute chart. Same concept, but it would be the chart would change, of course, but it would be every point represents 5 minutes in the stock market. So that'd be 5 minutes. This would be 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So that's the only difference with the charts. But for day trading, we always set it up the 1 minute, the 5 minutes usually just there for reference. So I'm gonna put it back to 1 minute. So yeah, so every point is represented in a minute. Now, again, if you're confused at all what this means, if you're looking at this stock, I'm just gonna make up stock prices. This is just a pictorial. So right now we'll say this is 10. So let's say this is 9:30 in the morning. All right, it's a little hard to see. Say 9:30. at 9:30, this is going to be telling me that this price was at $10. Well, in the next minute, the price at 9:31, the stock price is now at about 9:25. At 9:32, now the stock price is closer to $9. So that's all the information that it shows. So again, the line chart it's good for if you're on your phone, you just want to reference something, not looking into trading. Line chart is fine. It's not, you're not looking to make money off this. You're just more trying to reference it. But when you get into actual trading, line chart is not good enough, in my opinion, to start day trading. So that is the first of the 3 chart types we're going to talk about today. Okay, so number 2 is the bar chart. Now, there's some controversy over this chart here because the bar chart is fully capable of day trading with. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. I actually know personally people who trade with the bar chart, and they swear by it. They don't like candlesticks. Now, bar chart and the candlestick charts are virtually the same, except for one big difference. It's aesthetically different. It's not as, to me, in my opinion, the bar chart isn't as appealing to the eye. It's a little more confusing to me, but it does the exact same thing as the candlestick chart. So they're actually very, very similar, and you'll see in the next segment. But the bar chart is just as good as the candlestick chart, but in my opinion, the candlestick chart just looks better. It's easy to follow, and I think that's why candlesticks is the most common form of charts when people are day trading. Now, going back to the line chart, there wasn't a lot of information in that. But in this bar chart, you'll see, now this might be a little confusing to you. If you're confused, don't worry, we'll come back to it. But in this bar chart, it shows you a lot more information within that minute. So each one of these guys here represents 1 minute in the stock market. Now, you might be looking at it and not understanding what's happening, but even if you're a novice, you can understand that if it's a red bar, that means it was a negative drop that minute. If it's a green bar, that means it was a positive spike that minute. So, but what this shows is in this minute, even if I wasn't around when the stock was trading, I don't know exactly what happened in that minute, but I have a lot better idea than the line chart. So if you look at this bar here, we have the top guy here. We have I don't know if it's called the top wick. I'm going to call it the top wick for now. And this represents in this minute, that was the highest that price was in that minute. So it didn't end at this minute, but that was the highest. At one point, this stock was at this price within that 1 minute of trading. So this line here represents the starting price. So when it hit 0, this price starting here. So this right here is the starting point. This is the start of that minute. So this is the price here. So look at here, we'll say like it's 9.75. We'll say that was 9.75 when it first started. So this represents the entry. This is the body of the bar. So this was the price that it actually dropped. So we'll say body. This right here is the bottom wick. So again, sorry if it might be called something different in the bar charts. I'm familiar with candlesticks very more so it may not be called exactly bottom wick. But this right here, so this represents the highest price it was. This represents the lowest price that it was. So, and this guy here, this exit here is the end of the minute. So this is the end. Again, if this is confusing, it takes a little while. When I first saw this, my head was spinning too. But it's we'll just call this 9.25 here. So the important thing is in this minute here, it's important to understand that this shows you a lot of information just for one minute in the stock market. If you look at the line chart, it was just, okay, this is the price. Well, look how much this is showing me. This is showing me at one point in that minute, the stock was this high. The stock price started at 9.75. It went up to, we'll call this $10, just for imaginary. So it went up to $10 at some point. I don't know how exactly it gotten to this point, unless I was watching it. But then at some point, it actually hit a low of $9. So at one point, the stock was at $9. At one point, it was a very volatile stock. At one point, it's at $9. At one point, it's at $10. So, but it ended at 9.25. So it started at 9.75 and it ended at 9.25. Everything else between after that minute is it's over. It just showed you that at one point it was at 10, at one point it was at $9. Now, the reason why that's important is because if I jump into the stock, I'm starting to trade over here. Let's say, we'll pretend like this candle's not here yet. I use this to determine, okay, you can use this to see if, okay, do I think it's going to go up or do I think it's going to go down? All the stuff in here helps you put the odds in your favor that when you make a trade, you want to be on the right side of the trade. So the more information I get out of it, the better that my next trade will be. So that's why this gives you a lot of information. Again, if you're confused by this, it takes a while. When I first started doing this, I was so confused. It takes a little bit. I know it's confusing. I apologize. But again, so this is the start of the price. So at the end of the minute, we'll say at 9:30. At 9:30, it started at 9.75. At some point, we don't know, but at some point the stock was at $10 within that 60 seconds. The stock ended at 9.25 at $9.25 at 9:31. So at 9:31, it ended at $9.25. So that was the exit. So it went 9:31, it goes on, boom, goes to the next candle. And then, but at some point, that stock was at $9 within that 60 seconds as well. So the range was at $10 to $9. It was a whole dollar that it moved within that 60 seconds. Started at 9.25, ended at 9.25. Now this price, this entry here is going to start at 9.25. It started at 9.25. At some point, we don't know, it went to $9, not 9 o'clock, $9. It went all the way up to 10.25 at some point. But it ended at $10. So again, 9.25, this stock is at 9.31. This ended at 9.32. So this is 1 minute. This is the beginning of the minute. This is the end of the minute. Again, this is confusing. Don't worry. I think the candlestick's going to help you really see it a little bit better. But as far as bar charts, it does candlesticks is relatively the same exact information. So again, bar charts, nothing wrong with it. It's just not as aesthetically pleasing to the eye as candlestick charts, which we're going to go over next. Okay, and number 3 is the most important, in my opinion, is the candlestick chart. Now, this is probably used by 90% plus of traders. Even if you're not a day trader, even they still follow candlesticks. So again, bar chart, perfectly acceptable. This candlestick is virtually the same as the bar chart. So if you go through the bar chart lesson, it gives you the same information. The only difference is it looks different. It's virtually the only difference. I mean, if I draw a candlestick, let's draw a quick candlestick on the side here. If I have a candlestick here, the only difference with this and a bar chart is literally you put this down the middle here, and you're going to erase this part, and you're going to erase this part. That is the only difference of a bar chart and a candlestick chart. So I mean, it's a little sloppy, excuse me, drawing, but this is the same as it. So it's the same information, but it just looks a little different. So for me personally, this is very important to me because I like to keep track of it as quick as possible. I like to look at it, make a decision very quickly. So this just gives you a lot of information very quickly, and it looks a lot better, in my opinion. So again, we're gonna go through the same thing as a bar chart. This at 9:30. We'll say this is 1 minute chart. Each one of these candlesticks represents 1 minute in the stock market. So this is the top wick. This is the high point. That's the high point of the 60 seconds in that stock. This is the high point. So we'll call it $10. This is what the price started at. So this is the start here. This is the start. This is the end price here. Because it's a red candle, this is the start, this is the end. The stock price went down, so that's the start of the price. This is the end of the price. And this is the bottom wick. And this is the lowest the price was within that 60 seconds in stocks. And we'll call this at $9. So at one point it was $10. At one point it was $9. It started at 9.50. It ended at 9.25. So it started at 9.50, ended at 9.25. But within that minute, one point is at $9, one point it was at $10. Again, I know this is confusing, but again, this is very important to determine. Remember, we're trying to, the left side's already done. We can look at this. It's easy to look at it and see what happened. But this, we're trying to figure out what's going to happen in this direction. How is this going to affect this price. If you see a bunch of red candles in a row, it might be like, ooh, the stock looks like it's going the wrong direction. Or a bunch of green candles, ooh, it might be going a good direction. So don't be intimidated by this. I know it's confusing at first, but it takes a while. Once you start real life trading with this stuff, it really starts to make sense a lot better. But again, and this right here, this red part here is called the body. Sorry, my handwriting's a little bad. This is the body of the candle. So you have the top wick, you have the body, you have the bottom wick. So those are the most important parts of that candlestick. Now, if we transition into here, this is the start of the candle, this is the end of the candle. So the start of the next candle is going to be the end of this candle. So this is the start of this candle. Now, it started up here because this is a red candle, but because it's a green candle, the start is at the bottom and it ended up here. At one point it was here, at one point it was here, but it started here, it ended here. And everything else in between, we're not exactly sure how it worked out. We're not sure how any of this really played out in that minute, but I can tell 4 different things within that 1 minute just by looking at this chart. So again, I know it's confusing. Stick with it. Candlestick charts are the main chart you're going to use. Again, if this is confusing, don't let it be intimidating. When I first started, I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get this. This is crazy. I felt like I wasn't good enough. Trust me, you're good enough at this. It took many months to really feel comfortable with this, to really be able to look at charts and understand them. So please don't give up. If you're interested, I'm going to be posting videos multiple times a week describing stuff just like this. If you're interested, consider subscribing to this channel. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Everybody who has subscribed, I really appreciate it. I'm really trying to build this community. I'm really trying to build this channel. And if you have any ideas, please comment below. Let me know what you'd like to see. I want to make content that the viewers want to see. So again, it means so much to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.